Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about Game Boy, PlayStation 2, and GTA 6. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about PlayStation 2 emulation on PC with PCSX2. PCSX2 has got a couple of updates that might be of interest to you. The legendary Stenzek has fixed some things, improved some things, and added in some new features. So in the PCSX2 controller options, there's a couple of new things. They've added in axis inversion as well as button and trigger dead zone options. And if you're currently using the big picture mode with PCSX2, there have been a bunch of changes. They fixed the layout and padding in Windows and settings saving. They've added in a light theme option, adding in a game grid. They fixed icons being partially cut off. They've expanded the game list and game grid to take up the full screen width. They've moved the game list settings into the actual game list. They've added in a default view mode. And they've added resume game pop-up when picking a game that was saved. Now there's a number of people currently using the stable build of PCSX2, which you can find at pcsx2.net and click on download. And well, it's right here, version 1.6. The problem is that version 1.6 hasn't been updated since 2020. It's been over 2 years now. There's been a ton of new things added, a ton of new features, a ton of improvements, and you can find those on the nightly builds. So currently we're on version 1.7.3325. So if you want to check out these latest features along with a slew of other changes, check out the latest nightly build. This is considered experimental, so some stuff might be broken, some stuff might not work as anticipated. But at the same time here, there's a ton of stuff that's been added since the latest stable release. They're really due for a new stable release. Next up, we're still talking about PS2 emulation, we're still talking about PCSX2, but we're adding in retro achievements. Yes, retro achievements are heading to PCSX2. Unfortunately, this will not work through RetroArch. They state here, please keep in mind that we will not be using RetroArch or RA-libretro because the PS2 cores do not support achievements. We are going to be using the newest PCSX2 standalone. So as of October 1st at 12 AM GMT, retro achievements will be available for PCSX2. And I think this is amazing. This is incredibly exciting. If you don't know what retro achievements are, I'll recommend visiting the website. I'll leave a link in the description below. But think Steam achievements, Xbox achievements, PS2 trophies, but for retro gaming. Now, I don't want to get anyone too excited here because this is purely speculation, but PCSX2 and AetherSX2 share a bunch of code. Both of these emulators help each other out quite often, and I wouldn't be surprised to see AetherSX2 also get retro achievements at some point. But don't hold your breath because this is purely speculation. And next up here, we're talking about Game Boy emulation on Mac and Windows with SameBoy. SameBoy version 0.15.6 just released. I'll leave a link to the changelog in the description below, but we've got some bug fixes, some accuracy improvements, and also some new features. All CGB revisions as well as MGB are now available in the Libretro core. The debugger now guides users to use the help command. That's not really a big one. Both front ends can now selectively mute and unmute each of the 4 audio channels. And both front ends now support cartridge hot swapping. SameBoy is fairly simple to use. It's free, it's open source, and if you're into Game Boy emulation, you might want to check it out. Next up, we're talking about Nintendo Pokemon and Nuzlocke. Now this piece of news is very, very interesting, and I don't want to say frustrating, but kind of ridiculous. Nuzlocke was trending today for all of the wrong reasons. So basically, at a really high level here, Kit and Krista, who used to run Nintendo Minute, pitched an idea to the Pokemon Company about featuring some Nuzlocke runs. They thought it'd be a great idea, and the Pokemon Company obviously did not. They said that Nuzlocke runs are on the same level as ROM hacks. Now, for those who may be unaware, Nuzlocke stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, and the Nuzlocke challenge is not cheating, modding, hacking, or any of the above. It's really just a set of self-imposed rules on how you go about playing the game. You're not even modifying the game's code. You're playing the game as, well, as it was coded. So there are two basic rules here. There are some additional rules, kind of subsets and optional rules. But anyways, the two basic rules. Any Pokemon that faints is considered dead and must be released. And the player may only catch the first wild Pokemon encountered in each area and none else. If the first wild Pokemon encountered faints or flees, there are no second chances. These rules do not modify the game in any way, shape, or form. These are manual things you do, and they're self-imposed rules, and they make the game a little bit harder and a little bit more fun. It's a different way to play the exact same game. You're not changing anything. I mean, it's even stated in the near universally used rules. Cheating devices like a Game Shark may not be used. And this is basically a different way to play the vanilla version of Pokemon. You're not playing a ROM hack. This is the vanilla version. I don't understand why the Pokemon Company would put this on the same level as ROM hacking. On top of that, there's a number of people who have claimed to have been removed from the Nintendo Creators Program thanks to Nuzlocke runs. And I think this picture sums everything up perfectly. Disappointed, but not surprised. So while Nintendo and Pokemon are off being Nintendo and Pokemon, last up here we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, we talked about the massive leak in this morning's video, and apparently since then there have been some developments. As far as I know, the source code for Grand Theft Auto 6 has also been leaked. So the person claiming to be behind the entire leak is Teapot Uber Hacker. And they say it's possible I could leak more data soon. GTA 5 and 6 source code and assets, and the GTA 6 testing build. And even more interestingly here, Teapot Uber Hacker appears to want to negotiate a deal with Rockstar. They state, I am looking to negotiate a deal, so that's pretty black and white. They give Rockstar their Telegram as well as the Proton Mail. To be honest with you, today seems kind of surreal with what's happened. Rockstar's on full damage control. It's crazy that this is all real. And I'm curious to see what happens next. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a ton today. Let me know your thoughts about anything in the comments below. And yes, I'm home now. We ended our camping trip early. It was thunderstorming and we didn't really want to sit around in the rain all day and not be able to do a whole lot. So we're back home safe, sound, and dry. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.